Welcome to the People Connect podcast. Your network is your net worth. Are you ready to take your life to the next level? Be prepared to leap out of your comfort zone and connect with the who's who of what you want to do. Stop, drop, and roll as we start, market, and grow the CEO of you and your host, Nichelle Womack. She will help you engage, reinvent, motivate, and reactivate your plans for success.
Hey everybody, and welcome to the People Connect podcast. I am your host, Nichelle Womack, the startup CEO, helping you to start a profitable business from your kitchen table while you're still working your 9 to 5. I hope and pray you've had an amazing week of productivity, of excitement, of up-leveling your life to that next level. Thanks again for being here. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for downloading and subscribing at iTunes, iHeartRadio, and on Google. Thanks for being a part of our space. This broadcast today is brought to you by Motor Club of America. Yes, Motor Club of America. If you are not familiar with it, go check it out at theroadsidebuddy.com. Again, that's theroadsidebuddy.com. You can get some great rates on roadside assistance with unlimited towing. We are one of the only ones in the market that offer unlimited towing. So if you need roadside assistance, which everybody does, if you have a vehicle, you need some type of assistance. We also offer with travel and other commodities that are associated with the brand. Again, go to theroadsidebuddy.com to check out Motor Club of America. So today on this Freedom Friday, we are going to be discussing 8 ways to blog well. 8 ways to blog your business, your life, whatever it is that you do about blogging. We're going to talk about how to do it exceptionally well. Blogging is not new. You know, people have been writing for years. I think the emergence of it with trying to build a brand online and particularly getting your word out there and just really up-leveling your writing skills. If you are interested in becoming a writer or an author, this is really a great way to get started. Reason being, you're writing little small excerpts of articles, typically ranging from anywhere from 400 to 1,000 words. If you write 30 articles a month, that's your ebook right there. And just think about if you write 12 for every month, you write at least an article a week. How many pages can you have for your book? So there is really no excuse if you are interested in writing a book. This is literally, as I mentioned, the quickest way to do that and to get some familiarity with writing on a regular basis and identifying what it is that you want to write about. So in discussing with you how to write for your blog, the first thing that I want to share with you is that in anything that you do, because attention spans are so short for most people, you know, we're so busy doing multiple things. You want to keep it short and simple, short as possible, short and simple. You want to be able to have clarity in what it is that you're trying to get across to your audience and what it is that you're trying to address. Number one, keep it as short, as simple as possible. Number two, when writing your blog well, make sure you're keeping the reader in mind, your target audience. Who are you speaking to and what point do you want to get across? Because I think all too often when I personally read different blogs from different businesses, authors and things of that nature, you know, it's kind of hard to go from one point to the next point. If you have a niche, that's really a great place to start and just stick to it. Explain it and you know who you're targeting and there's really no confusion with that. So write so you can really address what you're trying to state with your target market and they know what you're great at and why they should consistently come and read your blogs. Write with your target market and target audience in mind, the reader. Who are you writing to? Number 3, decide on a purpose or a mission for your blog. You know, as a certified life strategist and business strategist, that's mostly what I write about. However, I just started a new brand called Love Thy Marriage. And so I have a blog specifically set up for that particular audience. I didn't want to kind of put it together with the lifestyle and business strategist because it kind of gives somewhat of a conflict of interest. Yet, as I say in my business practice all the time, if your life isn't right, your business is not going to be right. And if your business is not going to be right, more than likely your relationship is not going to be right as well. And all of them have a synergistic effect. But for that particular brand, I wanted to separate it and kind of give it its own unique niche. And so if you want to learn more about that in my blog, you can check me out on Facebook at Love Thy Marriage. We're also on Instagram at Love Thy Marriage. And you can see some of the things that we've been writing about to inspire people to know that marriage is possible, that it's exciting. You can make it exciting. And I just give some quotes and things of that nature to help people understand the life of being married. So decide what your purpose is and make sure you stick to it, address it often, and, really identify what your reader is expecting to get from you. That's a very great point. Decide on your mission and your purpose for your blog. Number 4, you want to make certain that your point is addressed in the first paragraph. When I first started writing, I wrote my first book actually a long time ago, but I really put it to print in 2000, I think it was 2012. I put it to print, put it on paper and published it. And in doing so, I realized that writing is not that difficult. It's actually kind of easy if you stick to it. And as I mentioned, do it on a regular basis. And if you know what your mission and your goals are. And so the first paragraph, just as you were taught in English, I'm sure, that is the introduction of your article. And in introducing the article, you need to state what you're going to talk about. Be clear, be specific, and be precise. And throughout the article, the body, which is the second part, explain what you discussed in the first part in detail, break down points, give tidbits of information, clarity to address why you're talking about it and what you know about it and what your reader should know as well. And the third part of that is your conclusion, where you summarize everything that you've discussed and have given your reader an overall viewpoint of the topic. So understanding and explaining what you're talking about in that first paragraph is so essential in the process. Number 5, you want to say exactly what you mean. As I stated earlier, you want to keep it as short as possible, simple, and to the point. But if you say exactly what you mean, there's no confusion. Your reader knows what you're talking about. They'll be more apt to come back to your blog on a regular basis because you are giving them what they're needing. You're feeding them what they want. And that's basically what a blog does. You want to make sure you gain authority by doing that, by expressing exactly what you mean and getting to the point so that the reader understands. And possibly can take some nuggets away and utilize it in their own business, in their life, or even in their relationship. Get to the point. Say exactly what you mean. The next thing that you need to do is make sure that it's formatted well. As I mentioned, talking about the paragraph number 1, make sure you're stating it. Have an introduction, body, and conclusion. The format is so important, breaking down points specifically. I like bullet points. Some people like to do 1, 2, 3, whatever works for you. Again, just make sure that each point that you stress, that is covered up with information that the reader can utilize in whatever it is that you're sharing. You also want to make sure that you, as I said earlier, write on a consistent basis so that you become familiar with the process of writing. You get comfortable with it, and you'll be able to spit blogs out like on a regular basis. I mean, there's so many tools out there to help you do it. If you post on social media, my favorite, as I've said over and over again, is Instagram. You can use your blog posts for quotes on your Instagram feed by repurposing that information. So it's just not a one-time try, it's a multiple time try. And you can use that throughout every piece of social media that you're on. And really that gives you blog post information for days, sometimes weeks, sometimes months. It just depends on how many times you write. And bottom line, you want to make sure that you attract the reader to your blog or your website. The main purpose of blogging is to drive traffic. And if you're giving the reader something they can understand, something they can relate to and attach to, they will be more attracted to you as a writer, as a blogger, and to your business and whatever it is that you're trying to get across. Everybody should have a blog. No matter if it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sentences or whatnot, you should be posting your thoughts down on a regular basis, because you'll be surprised. If you go back and read everything that you post, perhaps maybe a month from now, you can see how you've progressed as a writer, as a person, and it really becomes enjoyable. The more you do it, the better you will get at it. I promise you. Writing was always my strong point in school. I kind of got away from it as I got older, but in my later years of life, I find myself drawing back to it. And as I mentioned to you, it really helps you think about things that are going on in your life. It really gives you some point of reference. Journaling, basically that's what it is. Journaling your thoughts, your ideas, your aspirations, your inspirations, and your motivations. And it really gives you a different perspective and point of view of who you are and what it is that you want to become. I hope these tips help you. If you're thinking about starting a blog, some great places that you can go: WordPress.com, Blogger.com. I currently blog on WordPress and on Squarespace, and I like both units well because both of them serve two different purposes. But you don't have to pay any money to become a blogger. As I mentioned, WordPress and Blogger.com are great places to begin. If you want to grow and expand your blog later on, you want to invest in a domain name. And that's something you're going to have to pay for, especially if you're thinking about monetizing your blog as you go on. And that's where I am right now, in the process of beginning to monetize my blog, because people actually make a great living blogging. Yes, they do. They make a great living blogging. And the more, again, as I mentioned, you do it, the greater and the better you will become at it. So I hope you've enjoyed this broadcast. I hope it has given you some ideas, some insight of how to put together a great blog for your business, for your life, for your relationship, that you can prosper and eventually monetize from it and start getting you some coins, some dollars, some ends to help grow, expand, market, and dominate the CEO of you. I'm Nichelle with 2Excel with Nichelle.com. You can go to my website and learn more about what I do to help you prosper and grow in your business. 2Excel with Nichelle.com. And until next time, I look forward to speaking with you then. Thanks for tuning in to the People Connect podcast. May everything you touch, may it turn to gold. Blessings and peace.